The story begins in a small, quiet town, nestled in the mountains. The protagonist, Sarah, a young veterinarian, is living a peaceful life with her loyal dog, Bella. Bella is a mixed-breed dog, known for her gentle nature and intelligence. Sarah has always had a special bond with Bella, treating her more like a family member than a pet. One evening, Sarah notices that Bella is acting strangely. She is restless, pacing around the house, and refusing to eat. Concerned, Sarah decides to keep a close eye on her. The next morning, Sarah wakes up to find Bella in distress, clearly in labor. Sarah prepares to assist with the delivery, expecting a litter of puppies. As Sarah assists Bella with the delivery, she is shocked to find that instead of puppies, Bella gives birth to a human baby. The baby is small but perfectly formed, with a faint cry that sends chills down Sarah's spine. The room is filled with a mix of horror and disbelief as Sarah tries to comprehend what has just happened. Sarah's initial reaction is one of panic. She checks the baby's vitals and finds that it is healthy, despite the bizarre circumstances of its birth. Bella, exhausted from the delivery, seems confused but protective of the newborn. Sarah's mind races with questions. How is this possible? What does this mean? And most importantly, what should she do next? Sarah decides to keep the baby's existence a secret, at least for now. She knows that if word gets out, it could lead to chaos and unwanted attention. She carefully cleans the baby and wraps it in a blanket, placing it in a makeshift crib next to Bella. Bella, despite her confusion, seems to accept the baby and begins to nurse it. As the days pass, Sarah becomes increasingly attached to the baby, whom she names Hope. She begins to document everything, taking notes and photographs, hoping to find some scientific explanation for what has happened. However, the more she researches, the more she realizes that there is no logical explanation. The tension builds as Sarah struggles to keep the secret while trying to understand the truth. Sarah's life begins to unravel as the weight of the secret takes its toll. She becomes paranoid, constantly looking over her shoulder, afraid that someone will discover the truth. Her relationships with friends and family suffer as she withdraws from social interactions, consumed by the mystery of Hope's birth. One night, Sarah is awakened by a strange noise. She finds Bella growling softly, her eyes fixed on the window. Sarah looks out and sees a shadowy figure standing in the yard, watching the house. The figure disappears before Sarah can get a closer look, but the encounter leaves her shaken. She realizes that she is not alone in her knowledge of Hope's existence, and that someone, or something, is watching her. Desperate for answers, Sarah reaches out to Dr. Michael Carter, a renowned geneticist and an old friend from college. She carefully explains the situation, omitting some details to protect herself and Hope. Dr. Carter is skeptical, but intrigued, and he agrees to visit Sarah to see the baby for himself. When Dr. Carter arrives, he is both fascinated and horrified by what he sees. He conducts a series of tests on Hope and Bella, but the results only deepen the mystery. Hope's DNA is entirely human, with no traces of canine genetics, while Bella's DNA shows no signs of tampering or mutation. The scientific community would be turned upside down by this discovery, but Dr. Carter warns Sarah of the potential consequences if the truth were to come out. As Dr. Carter continues his investigation, Sarah becomes increasingly protective of Hope. She begins to notice strange occurrences around the house, objects moving on their own, unexplained noises, and a growing sense of unease. Bella, too, seems to be on edge, often growling at unseen threats. One evening, Sarah finds a note slipped under her door. The note is cryptic, warning her to protect the child at all costs. The tension mounts as Sarah realizes that she is not the only one interested in hope. She begins to suspect that there are forces at play beyond her understanding, and that hope's existence may be part of a larger, more sinister plan. Sarah's worst fears are realized when a group of strangers arrives in town, asking questions about her and Bella. The strangers are dressed in black, their demeanor cold and calculating. Sarah overhears them discussing hope, referring to her as the subject. Panicked, Sarah decides to flee with Hope and Bella, knowing that she must protect the child at all costs. The strangers, however, are relentless. They track Sarah's movements, closing in on her with each passing day. Sarah's paranoia reaches new heights as she struggles to stay one step ahead of her pursuers. The sense of horror is palpable, as Sarah realizes that she is not just fighting for Hope's life, but for her own as well. As Sarah and Hope go on the run, they encounter other strange phenomena. They meet a reclusive scientist who claims to have knowledge of similar cases, but his information is cryptic and unsettling. He warns Sarah of a secret organization that has been conducting experiments on the boundaries between human and animal genetics, and that Hope may be the result of one of these experiments. The scientist's revelations shake Sarah to her core. She begins to question everything she knows about Hope's origins and whether she is truly human or something else entirely. The emotional toll is immense, and Sarah struggles to maintain her sanity as the lines between reality and nightmare blur. Sarah's journey takes her to an abandoned research facility hidden deep in the mountains. The facility is a place of nightmares, filled with the remnants of horrific experiments. Sarah discovers documents and recordings that shed light on the organization's activities and the true nature of Hope's existence. The documents reveal that Hope is the result of a failed experiment to create a hybrid between human and animal DNA. The experiment was abandoned due to ethical concerns, but not before several embryos were implanted into unsuspecting animals. Hope is the only known survivor of these experiments, and the organization will stop at nothing to reclaim her. Sarah's discovery of the research facility leads her to the realization that the organization behind the experiments is more powerful and dangerous than she ever imagined. The facility is a labyrinth of horrors, with evidence of genetic manipulation, cloning, and other unethical practices. Sarah's sense of dread grows as she uncovers more about the organization's plans for Hope. The tension reaches a breaking point when Sarah is confronted by the leader of the organization, a cold and calculating man known only as the Director. The Director reveals that Hope is not just a failed experiment, but a key to unlocking the next stage of human evolution. He offers Sarah a choice: hand over Hope and walk away, or face the consequences of defying the organization. Sarah refuses to give up Hope, and a tense standoff ensues. The Director's enforcers close in, but Sarah is determined to protect the child at all costs. The battle is intense, with Sarah using every resource at her disposal to fight off the attackers. Bella, loyal to the end, fights alongside Sarah, her ferocity surprising even the enforcers. The sense of horror is overwhelming as Sarah witnesses the full extent of the organization's cruelty. The emotional toll is immense, but Sarah's resolve never wavers. She knows that she must protect Hope, not just for the child Sake, but for the future of humanity. After a grueling battle, Sarah manages to escape with Hope and Bella. The research facility is destroyed, and the organization's plans are thwarted. 4. Sarah knows that the fight is far from over, but she also knows that she has made a difference. Hope is safe, and the truth about the organization's experiments has been exposed. As Sarah and Hope begin to rebuild their lives, they are haunted by the memories of what they have endured. The emotional scars run deep, but Sarah finds solace in the bond she shares with Hope and Bella. The journey has changed them all, but it has also strengthened their resolve to protect each other and fight for what is right. The story ends with Sarah, Hope, and Bella finding a new home in a remote area, far from the reach of the organization. Sarah continues to document their experiences, hoping that one day the truth will come to light. Hope grows into a healthy child, her unique origins a secret known only to Sarah and Bella. As Sarah watches Hope play with Bella, she reflects on the journey they have been through. The horror they faced will never be forgotten, but it has also given them a new purpose. The story of the canine miracle will live on, a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit and the bonds that unite us all. The story ends with Sarah, Hope, and Bella living a peaceful life, far from the horrors of the past. Sarah has found a new sense of purpose, dedicating her life to protecting those who cannot protect themselves. Hope, now a curious and intelligent child, begins to ask questions about her origins, and Sarah knows that one day she will have to tell her the truth. As the sun sets on their new home, Sarah feels a sense of hope for the future. The journey has been long and difficult, but it has also brought them closer together. The story of the canine miracle is far from over, but for now they are safe, and that is enough.